You probably have heard. I know it's got more play, more press than I imagine. I was in London yesterday. Let me tell you my schedule. So I ended my vacation a little bit early. I was in Florida, but I drove 2 hours to Miami. Got there at 7 o'clock for a 9 o'clock direct to Heathrow in London. And we had been working some time on a sit-down interview with Julian Assange. And we finally he had agreed to the interview, frankly, 2 weeks ago. And we just had to get permission. This guy has not had sunlight on his face outside in 4.5 years. The first thing I saw when I got there is I was shocked at the very tiny living space this man has and how little access he has to the outside world. We get into the issues of why he's there. He made a very passionate, strong defense, and there's a lot of questions that I have about the legitimacy of these things, but I'll let you decide when you watch the interview. We're going to run the full hour of it tonight. We literally had about an hour and 20 minutes worth of taping, so it's frustrating that I can't just let the whole thing run. I wish I had 2 hours tonight. But it's, to me, a fascinating interview. Now, a lot has happened since I've been gone as it relates to this narrative by the White House and by the Hillary campaign and by every Democrat that the Russians tried to influence the elections. But yet, nobody has presented any evidence that anything new has been discovered or is proven to be tied to the Russians influencing this election in any way. And what was actually somewhat funny and humorous is the Washington Post. They actually made the claim that the Russians hacked the U.S. electric grid. And they had to correct a story that originally said Russian hackers penetrated the U.S. electric grid by breaching a utility company in Vermont. Well, then they had to put out a retraction claiming that Russia, in fact, hacked the grid. Why did they run with the story so fast? Probably because they wanted to create legitimacy to the story that the Russians hacked and influenced the elections. Now, I asked Julian Assange, and we'll play some of the interview later in the program today. I asked him directly, did he ever meet Vladimir Putin? No. Did he ever talk to him? No. Did he ever talk to an associate, a friend, a surrogate of Vladimir Putin? No. Did he ever talk to Donald Trump? No. Did he ever talk to a Trump surrogate? No. I think I had read a report that Roger Stone had spoken to him. Did you ever speak to Roger Stone? No. So he said no to all of these questions. And then I said, okay, can you tell the American people that, in fact, the Russians had nothing to do with the information that you got from WikiLeaks as it relates to the DNC and John Podesta's emails? And his answer was unequivocal. No, no, no. And yet, you know, what's very fascinating about all of this is Congress has been wanting an investigation here into all of this. You know, we've got one top cybersecurity expert, John McAfee. Well, he was quoted as saying, according to Zero Hedge, he's the creator of America's first commercial anti-hacking software. He said flatly, I can guarantee you it was not the Russians. Other cyber experts we have had on the program have said the same thing. Now, the administration continues to stonewall Congress. Long before Christmas, Congress was saying, well, give us the proof. Give us the evidence. And the president, the administration, has been stonewalling Congress in their demands for evidence showing that this claim is true. And then they put out a 13-page memo that basically said nothing. And no proof was offered. So it's very, very dubious in every way. And it's, you know, there's no evidence that I have seen at all that would debunk what Julian Assange is telling me. And if you're asking me if I believe him, having sat and spoken with him and spent all the time with him, I'd say I believe him. But you can watch tonight yourself and make your own decision.